Welcome to the Monday weekly recap, brand new segment on the Punch Report. This is your boy. Like I said before, y'all, welcome back to the channel. This is your boy JG. Come in, like, subscribe, hit that bell icon to be notified of the latest and greatest when it comes to the videos dropping on this channel. Now, let's get into Gervonta Tank Davis pay-per-view numbers. Let's break it down. So, Gervonta Tank Davis took on Hector Garcia Saturday, January 7th, where he scored a knockout, retired on the stool, was one. Hector Garcia. He said he couldn't see out of his eye. He was lumped up. He got his shit caved in a little bit. So we arrive at the place where the fight's over. Gervonta Tank Davis remains undefeated, gets another stoppage victory. But let's get into these pay-per-view numbers. So it was rumored from several sources that I don't have in front of me. I don't really care to look into who and what those sources were. But what I would tell you is this. Any individual reporting that Gervonta Tank Davis sold a mere 60 or 61,000 pay-per-views is not really interested in providing solid information from a boxing perspective, boxing business information from that perspective, and really just covering the sport from an unbiased informational perspective. There was a representative from the PBC that came out and stated that the numbers were in the realm of from 350 to 400. It's since been released. One source will be the boxing scene, 225 to 250,000 pay-per-views for one Gervonta Tank Davis. This is the important information that you guys need to know and understand. Gervonta Tank Davis, when he fought Rolando Roy Romero, he set a record in the Barclays in New York for attendance. He just did a $5 million gate in DC for his fight with Hector Garcia. That was a stacked PBC card. The numbers look to be pretty good. If you're a Tank Davis, if you're living in the realm of 225 and 250, do you want to do better? Sure. What I would say is this. The numbers did well, especially in the live gate. 5 million is a big number. I know the pay-per-view money at 225 to 250 brings in a respectable penny. Right now, Gervonta Tank Davis is the brightest star in boxing. That's what the money tells you. That's what the money suggests. And it's scintillating fights, scintillating knockouts, and solid promotion and business being done overall. For the individuals out there who are hoping, fingers crossed, I hope Gervonta Tank Davis has a flop or this is a fight that most people are not talking about or checking for. I am happy to report, that is not indeed the case. I understand there are people who are not looking for a Black American fighter to have this level of success within his home country, or looking for Gervonta Tank Davis personally to not have the success. But the reality is this: he's a polarizing fighter. He's tremendously successful. He's been well branded within the U.S. and he generates knockouts. And he's a must-watch fighter. This is the reality situation. Any channel or any individual reporting or purporting that the individual in Tank Davis sold 60 or 61,000 pay-per-view buys just is not interested in his overall success. Moving right along. Now, as I mentioned before, it is a slow period of time. 30, 60, 90 days in boxing. We're really quiet. But we got to take a look at the fact that Liam Smith just defeated Eubank Jr. Via stoppage in the 6th round, I believe, in an emphatic way. So what's notable about this? It was a fight with a name-known guy in Eubank Jr. He was linked to Conor Benn, but he goes out, he takes on Liam Smith, another fighter with 2 losses, well, 3 losses going to the bout. Eubank's 2 losses. They come together. Now Eubanks has 3 losses, whatever, he got stopped. But from a UK perspective and from a boxing perspective, Liam Smith, Eubank will remain big, viable names, limited losses, or the losses are coming as name-known guys, and they're spread far apart. Doesn't really hurt his brand. Shout out to Liam Smith from getting that done. A lot of shit talking. They were able to get that cleaned up within the ring. Liam Smith is the better man. More notably for me is Eubank Jr., his rival, so to speak, and what's his name, Conor Benn, hopping on to Twitter to mock or make fun of Eubank Jr. Well, here's what I know about Eubank Jr. He's eligible to fight. Hasn't popped dirty to my knowledge. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is not facing an indefinite suspension or any type of ban from the sport of boxing because of dirty drug tests. He hasn't experienced a weird body transformation. he hasn't gone from not knocking people out to knocking everyone out. So this is just what I know about Chris Eubank. When I think about a guy like Connor Ben, who gets on the internet to celebrate another man's loss that you couldn't provide because you're not eligible to fight, it's just a bit head scratching for me. If you are a Chris Eubank, you'll be fine. Congratulations to Liam Smith. If you're Connor Ben, appeal, go to court, arbitrate, do what you need to do. But as it stands right now, you are a dirty fighter. You've tested dirty. Things will play out. I'm more than happy to correct myself. But as of right now, your place is not on Twitter being critical of anyone losing fights when these guys are actually eligible to fight. Moving right along, Monday's news from last week's mess. Here we are. BLK Prime and Adrian Broner have run into a problem. I did a whole dedicated video to this, but I'll share with you now in a quick snippet. Adrian Broner, as it stands right now, it is Monday, 13:35 on the West Coast. Adrian the Problem Broner signed to BLK Prime, fighting at 144 with the intent to go down to 140. Currently does not have an opponent. Ivan Redcash ran into a scenario where he came in, made a deal, was negotiated with he and BLK Prime. The manager comes in, says, I was unaware of this, pulls the plug on the operation. Ivan Redcash has several outbursts on the internet. He's upset. He's bothered. This is BS or nonsense. He's missing out on an opportunity. He's missing out on a paycheck. That comes in, or insert one Mr. Hank Lundy, hammering Hank Lundy, Philadelphia's very own. I believe he is 38 years of age currently riding a 4-fight losing streak. Signs and says, I will take on Adrian the Problem Broner. Hard stop right there. He was scheduled to fight a guy under the California State Athletic Commission's banner, Prospect 808 Knockouts. The bout was scheduled for February 4th. Hank Lundy gets a cut over the eye, pulls out of the bout, according to him, and feels like he should be eligible to be scheduled for the bout, which is later in February, with Adrian the Problem Broner. His managerial team, or the promoter, steps in. They have an issue with that. The California State Athletic Commission issues a indefinite suspension, making one Hank Lundy ineligible completely to fight an Adrian Broner as of me recording this video. My thoughts on that are this. If you are BLK Prime, you have to put yourself in a position where you're talking to fighters and combatants that are actually contract-free, healthy, and available, and are in a position to generate legitimate revenue for your business. Right now, that is not indeed the case. Ivan Redcash, I think that he had a bout of inactivity, was looking forward to get back in the ring with BLK Prime Adrian Broner. If you look at Hank Lundy, loser of 4 in a row, just lost a split decision in a 10-rounder to a guy whose name I don't remember, but BLK Prime wants you to pay pay-per-view for that. I got a comment from the video that I put out about AB, Adrian Broner. Always bloated. AB, I put out a video about this, and I got a comment that says, Adrian Broner brings the circus to the 10, or the 10 to the circus, or something along those lines. And what I would tell you is this. The Adrian Broner can-man days have come and gone. He's a young man. He can come back to that fold with his talent, skill, and ability, discipline, foresight, and a really great team. It's not over for Adrian Broner, my opponent. But what I would say is the circus, or the shit-talking aspect of what he brings to the table, is not so appealing that I'm going to pay pay-per-view to see him fight Ivan Redcash, Hank Lundy, or whatever the case may be. BLK Prime, you take a fight like this, you build off the card, you make it free, plus a subscription, and you allow individuals to see what you have to offer. Pay-per-view for Broner, Hank Lundy, Ivan Redcash, that ain't it. But this is my recap for last week's big news. Let me know what you guys think. This is your boy, JG. This is the Punch Report. Please come and be so kind. Like, subscribe, hit that bell icon to be notified of when the drops happen. And we out.